Hey, let's see. Is Dr. Herbage on?
Yes, I made it. Thank you.
Oh, great. Well, okay, let me introduce you to everybody. Okay, Dr. Herbage is Dr. Sandra Herbage. She got her MD, or her medical degree, from the University of Wisconsin in 1988. Then she pursued a residency training in family practice. In 1990, she began to study alternative medicine. She trained in homeopathy at the Northwestern Academy of Homeopathy in Minneapolis. Since 1994, she's been medical director of Madison Holistic Health Center. She's married and has 5 grown children. Now she lives in Madison, Wisconsin. She said she's planning to move to a big country farmhouse this fall. That sounds good. She's going to share with us experience. It says her experience with breast cancer, and then some experiences that she's heard from her patients. So, Dr. Sandra Herbage,
yes.
I want to turn it over to you now.
Well, thank you, and hello, everybody. This is the first time I've ever done one of these calls, so I'll just share with you what I have. I'm fairly new with Miracle. I first was introduced to it in April of this year. And my story that I want to share with you goes back to October of 2001, when I diagnosed myself with breast cancer. There is a blood test that's available that diagnoses cancer, and it's about 99% accurate. So I took this blood test myself, and it came back positive. So I had the surgery the day before Thanksgiving, and the report came back very good. It looked like the margins were clean. It was definitely breast cancer, but it looked like they got all of it. I didn't know at the time that it had already spread, so I was pretty happy to get the path report because I thought it was, pretty much a good report. And I refused, or I declined, I should say, to do the chemo and the radiation and the tamoxifen, which were all the recommendations. And instead, I just opted to use herbs that I had known that were pretty good for treating cancer. And I was pretty confident. I really was not anxious about it. Until February, when I decided to repeat the blood test just for my peace of mind, and it came back positive again. So the blood test showed that it was basically the same as when I first diagnosed it. I still had cancer to the same degree, which meant that even though the path report was good, they apparently had not got all of it. So I still had it. So I got back on a pretty strenuous herbal program, which I'd initially started. But then when my pathology report came back from the surgeon looking so good, I kind of slacked off and went to a less rigorous program. Okay, so in February I got back on the herbal program, the strict one, and it made me pretty sick. By the end of March, I think what I had was an ulcer because I could not eat. I had stomach pain all the time, and when I ate, I had severe pain. And so I was forced to stop using the herbs by the end of March. So at this point, I had a very serious conversation with the Lord. Up until then, I felt like I was in control and I knew what to do, and I'm a doctor and I treat cancer, and and I just felt like I was on top of it. By the end of March, I realized that I could die from this. I mean, this was serious. My herbs weren't working, and I didn't know what to do. So my prayer was basically, Lord, I need more time. I need you to do something here. I don't know what to do. And so that was the end of March. The beginning of April is when my husband brought this Miracle product to me. And I'll just digress just a little bit with his story. He'd had chronic pain for 15 years. And I would give him homeopathic remedies, and, over the years, each time he thought, yeah, this is the one, and it never lasted, and his pain was always back. So he got a hold of the Miracle, took a dose of it, and his pain went away. I mean, his pain just went away. And he was really impressed. So right about the time that I was in Wisconsin praying, about my own condition, he realized what it had done for him, what this miracle had done for him, and so he prayed concerning my condition, that maybe the miracle would work for me too. So when he came back from his trip, he presented it to me. I looked at the little booklet, that says it cures everything from A to Z, and a very low cost compared to, the herbs I was taking were costing me $175 a bottle, and I was using 3 different bottles. So, this inexpensive cure-all I was not impressed with, and I didn't take it. My dear husband kept calling me back day after day and reminding me, asking me, have you taken it yet? Have you taken it yet? So basically, to get him to stop bothering me, I decided I would take it. And the situation was that I was scheduled to have another blood test in 1 week because I wanted to get a new baseline to see just how bad the situation was before I started a new therapy. So in that 1 week, I was off my herbs, so I said, okay, fine, I'll take Miracle. I took it for 1 week and then repeated the blood test. To my utter amazement, the blood test was it was normal. I mean, this is the first time it's been normal since October when I was diagnosed. Not only that, I didn't mention. So I had the surgery, but in February, the lump grew back. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. The lump was back in the same place, same size. It was about 1 inch in diameter. So after 1 week on the Miracle, not only was the blood test normal, but the lump was gone. I mean, I totally could not feel the lump. And my mind told me that it couldn't disappear. It was there, but my fingers just couldn't feel it. I didn't know what to make of it. Eventually it sunk in. I didn't have cancer anymore, and I didn't have the lump. And this happened 1 week. I took 7 drops of a neutralizer in water once a day for 1 week. And I measured it out. I poured a little bit from my husband's bottle into a little dropper bottle, and I took 7 measured drops. And that's pretty much my story. I don't know, Pat, have you ever heard anything like that?
Not that quickly. No, my goodness. Now,
it was amazing.
And you didn't bathe or anything in it. It was just the drop.
At that point, I didn't bathe. I just was basically biding my time until I could get my blood test results and get started on some real therapy. That was my attitude. After 1 week, when I realized that the lump was truly gone, the blood test was truly normal, then I wanted information. So then I read a report called Amazing Grace, and I didn't sleep that night. That one just wowed me. When I realized that scientists had evaluated this product and what they had to say, in terms of it neutralizes bacteria, it neutralizes anthrax, it neutralizes cobra venom, and, I can't even say I understood all the science that they presented, but it was just enough to amaze me and to realize that what I had in my hand was something really, really special. So at that point, I now use soap. I mean, I'm way more than 7 drops. I'm probably taking a teaspoon a day, and I wash my hair, I wash my body, I wash my dishes, and I use it a lot more now than I did initially.
You've definitely been converted, would you say?
Well, I tell you, when your breast cancer is cured in 7 days, it does tend to make a believer out of you.
Now, you said you only did 7 drops once a day, correct?
7 drops once a day for 7 days to placate my husband, basically.
I think that's fantastic. Thank you so much for telling us about that. How about, I know what I wanted to ask you. Have you done any other blood tests since then?
Yes, about 5 weeks afterward. I'll tell you, honestly, I couldn't quite believe it, that there was anything that would work that amazingly. So 5 weeks later, I repeated the blood test, and it was totally normal. But after 1 week, the blood test was like borderline. Anything under 100 is normal, and mine was exactly 100, but it had come down from, 189. So it was just borderline normal, and then after 5 weeks, it was in the 60s. It was totally normal. But I want to tell you another story. So after this happened to me, and after I read the science report, then I thought of my